welcome back. We are on chapter 7. Yes, it has been pretty juicy. My crazy life, I told you, it reads like fiction, but it's my real life. It's crazy. My life was crazy. I don't know if that's typical 20-year-olds who get into all kinds of craziness, live recklessly, think they're invincible, jumping into situations that you really can't control. But hopefully the ones that read this book will minimize that kind of behavior. And I've mellowed. You'll see as the book goes on. I mellowed a lot, and my road to my happily ever after kind of petered out a little bit, and just got to an even, relaxing keel. Okay, so let's move on to chapter 7, preparing for my happily ever after. In February of 1995, I realized that I had a lot of control over this journey I dubbed my yellow brick road. I understood that on my journey, the direction is decided by my actions. I decided to plan my 31st birthday party, and I needed a change, a new beginning. I was single by choice and the lack of quality inventory. I had my share of boyfriends. Yes, even in my 30s, they were behaving like boys, not men. I was tired of looking for love in all the wrong places, as the song says, and getting my feelings hurt. If you recall, the 3 guys I dated in the previous year included the buffed brother who just couldn't live life legal. I couldn't see visiting the jailhouse every weekend. The professional boxer living single in the West while living large with 7 kids in the East, and the hard-working grocery store cashier with baby mama drama, 5,000. Not even a fine man is worth a bunch of drama. Those 3 added enough chaos to my life that I turned over my search for love to God. I knew it was the best thing I could do if I wanted successful results. I had turned over issues with my family relationships to God and was blessed with an understanding that everyone has their own walk through life for which they are responsible, not me. I'm not responsible for what everyone else does. I'm responsible for what I do and maybe what I do to others. But if you have brothers or sisters or cousins or aunts living a drama, intense life, you're not responsible for that, and you don't have to be a part of that. You can pull yourself from that. I can help those who want it if I want to, but I also have the right to distance myself from those that are destructive and disrespectful. I had turned over my worries and fears about dying over to God and was given peace in my heart with the understanding that our lives here are short but can be awesome, inspirational, meaningful, exciting, filled with love and joy. Our bodies are merely vessels to transport our souls and spirits through this worldly journey towards the destination of heaven and a spiritual life after death. Yes, God wants us to have fun and laugh. He has an awesome sense of humor, but He also wants us to acknowledge His strength and wisdom and omnipotent power. He's omnipresent. He's always there for you. God gives us free will to make our own choices. It's like a multiple choice test for life. There are good choices and there are bad choices. We know there are repercussions of both choices, but sometimes we still select the bad. We can also choose to let the Lord lead us. I was tired of selecting for myself and ending up with the bad. So the smartest thing I did was to turn over my desire to have a mate to God. The 31st birthday party planning was underway. I still had my own apartment on Courtine Place, but it was small. My Aunt Jen was allowing me to have my party at her tri-level house in Los Angeles. As a fashion designer, I always start with my outfit for the event. Typical. Coordinating my designer outfit is easier than coordinating the decorations, cake, design, etc. around my outfit. Yet I know that it is hilarious, but I always get rave compliments. In 1995, my favorite color to wear was red. Cherry red, ruby red, crimson red, or blood red, it didn't matter what hue. The party was going to be in March when the weather in Los Angeles would be warm or cool, but not too hot. I decided on a pair of red, lacy long pants with lining underneath of red shorts. The design accentuated my long brown legs. They were extremely shapely at the time. And a matching red lace halter top. I was so excited that I designed and sewed it in one day. Truly, it was adorable. The lace long pants with the short lining shorts underneath, nice. Cute, not too sexy, but sexy. I ordered my own sheet cake, white buttercream frosting decorated with red writing. Sexy and single written everywhere. I called and invited my friends, family, and co-workers, as well as every ex-boyfriend I dated in Los Angeles since 1989. It was going to be a blowout for sure. Jan and Kelly would be there, of course. I invited all my girls with a Z, which included my closest cousins, Dee Dee, Renee, Angie, and Terry, my girlfriends from the Bay Area, Lynn, Gloria, and Carla, as well as my friends in SoCal, Shara and Valerie. Yes, vomit in the hair Valerie, to the party. Local friends and co-workers also confirmed that they would not miss it. The exes I invited gave me a variety of responses from, will we be getting back together? To, are there going to be pretty women there? To, I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, I can't make it. I will be fighting Roy Jones Jr. on HBO that night. You know who that was. I was ready to party when they arrived. I cooked food for the party the night before. I love to eat and cook, so it is rare that I do not remember what I made for the party, but in this case, I really can't recall. I made sure to buy beer and Tanqueray gin since my girls were drinking pink panties at the time. I am not sure of all the ingredients, but it includes gin, pink lemonade, and vanilla ice cream. On Saturday, March the 18th, 1995, 3 days after my actual birthday, I was ready to party the night away with my guests. I decorated the sunken living room, dining room, and kitchen with red and white streamers and balloons. I told Kelly I had to run out to pick up the birthday cake. It's still early, but if anyone shows up, just let them make themselves comfortable. Turn on the television to HBO for me too, please, Kelly. Tony is supposed to be fighting tonight. I think he's fighting someone named Roy Jones Jr. It will show his name as Antoine Bird. Record it for me, I said as I rushed out the door. I'll be right back. I drove to the grocery store to pick up the sheet cake. It was only a 30-minute round-trip drive to grab the cake. When I returned, I parked on the street, and I was walking up the stairs to Jan's house when Kelly came running outside. Hurry up, you'll miss it. You missed it. He yelled at me while I was laughing. I had rarely seen Kelly that excited. Missed what? I asked as I tried to rush upstairs with the cake in my arms. I went inside and set the cake on the table. Tony got knocked out. Kelly was rewinding the videotape for me. What? The fight has only been on for a few minutes, I said, confused. Exactly, Kelly said. He was knocked out in round 1. Wow, was all I could say as I sat down on the couch to watch the replay. Even though he was a lion dog and I secretly wished Roy Jones Jr. would open up a can of whoop ass on Tony, I kind of hoped he could fulfill his dream to become a successful fighter. He could have used the money to take care of his huge family. I watched Roy Jones Jr. take care of business. Oh well, back to the party. Guests started arriving around 8 o'clock. Dee Dee, Terry, Renee, who called dibs on my outfit when I tried it on, instead of me making her one later. Kelvin, Willie, Darnell, Lynn, Gloria, Regina, Carla, and so many others. Back to back, guests kept arriving. Wall-to-wall people began mingling and eating, drinking and laughing. I had let everyone know that there was a jacuzzi spa and they should bring their swim gear if they wanted to get in the spa. As the hostess and birthday girl, it was my job to make sure my guests were enjoying themselves, so I made sure to go out to the spa, into the kitchen, and down to the living room to say hi to everyone and make sure they were having fun. I took pictures and posed for pictures along the way. I got into the spa for a little while and laughed with some of my friends. Around 11:30, everyone was going into the house since it was getting chilly outside. The crowd was gathering in the dining area and the living room dancing. My cousins Terry and Dee Dee have always been just as crazy as me. When I heard there was a dance-off about to take place, I was not surprised. It got wild, R-rated. With the moves they were doing, it was so hilarious that everyone was laughing and clapping. Terry won. That's my girl, the life of the party. Around 2 a.m., mostly everyone was leaving or crashing out on the floor. It was one of the most memorable birthday parties I ever had. On the Sunday after the party, phone calls from my friends and cousins let me know that the party truly was a success. We laughed as they told me about things that they saw or did. A couple of them told me about how they saw one or more of my exes watching me, realizing that I was really sexy and single, and they had messed up. I heard that a couple of them asked if I really was single. My girl said yes, she is, waiting for the right one. Hearing all of the feedback put a smile on my face as I realized I really did not have feelings for any of the exes, and I was ready to wait for the man that God would bring me. I remember a friend telling me it took 5 years of her waiting on the Lord, but her husband was perfect. I was ready to wait 5 years or longer. I was tired of the dating games and ready for my happily ever after. Fun and partying was over and time to get back to my apartment, my job, and my normal life. I didn't go out to clubs very much. I had danced enough at my party to last me a while. My new job was in Pacoima, and I didn't feel that the company was stable, but it was a job. I would go to work during the week and stayed at home reading books or watching television on the weekends. I had faith that when God was ready to bring the right man into my life, He would put him in my path no matter where I was. Funny how you think something will be quick and it takes forever, like an appointment at the DMV maybe. Or you think something will be slow, but it's fast. My 5-year wait was surprisingly shortened to 3 months. From the time my sister Sabbath returned to Beaverton, Oregon, back in 1994, my mom could see the difference in Sabbath. Although Sabbath didn't want to be away from my mom, she wanted to be back in California. After talking to my mom a few times, I realized that she too was ready to head back to her home state. My mom's job had an office in Riverside, California, so she could transfer her job to Riverside, which would eliminate a job search. We agreed that I would try to find my mom a rental in Riverside. I was so happy to help my mom that the 1.5-hour drive each way to Riverside from my home in Valley Village didn't bother me at all. I found several rental ads in the newspaper and drove out on Saturday to check out the locations. One of the first places I looked at was a perfect little house with all the items on my mom's wish list. I rushed home to call her and give her the information. She was She was equally excited and said she would call them right away. She called me back the next day to say that she got the place. They would be in the rental house and they were going to hold it for her. About 30 days later, my mom and Sabbath drove down in a U-Haul truck with a vehicle hitch pulling the Mercury links. Yep, she still had the links. It seemed like a long time since I had given that car to my mom. We were definitely getting our money's worth out of that one. I met them in Burbank for breakfast, then we drove to Riverside. I helped my mom and Sabbath move in. Mom loved the new hardwood floors in the backyard where she could put a garden. The bougainvillea in the front yard was overgrown, but she loved it too and already had plans to trim it up. I made sure they were situated, then I headed home. Within a month of living in Riverside, my sister said she didn't like it there and wanted to be in the valley where I was. I told my mom that was fine, and my sister came on out. She enrolled in North Hollywood High School. Some of the same people she knew in middle school were attending the same high school. She was such a cute girl with a strong personality that she made some new friends too. Now Sabbath was happy. Mom was happy that Sabbath was settled in and doing well. My mom could walk to her job in stores and was near public transportation, so she gave me back the links. Back and forth. She was settling in as well and knew that I had a long commute. It felt good to help my sister and motivate my mom since she always motivated me. It was cool to have the links back too. I was happy too, but I was tired of the IPA employer I was working for at the time. The IPA was unorganized and the equipment was not efficient. Several of the employees complained about the management and how the twins that managed the job were like night and day. The outgoing, cheerful twin was helpful and knowledgeable and helpful and knowledgeable about how the insurance claims should be handled. But the twin that was grumpy and a micromanager never had an answer for the questions posed to her about the claims process. The nice twin went out on maternity leave, and the not so nice twin was left to make everyone else even more miserable. The controller and the CFO at the IPA left one day out of the blue, and that was my sign to hurry up and find another job. Anytime the CFO, the CEOs, the upper management, the controller, human resources, anytime those folks start leaving like roaches out of a house being sprayed, take it as a clue. It's time to go. I was blessed to find an opening at the Motion Picture Industry Pension and Health Plan, which was rare. That's a mouthful. Motion Picture Industry Pension and Health Plan. It was a union position with great pay, and very few people quit working for the MYBR. That is the pension plan that actually handles the insurance claims for the people that are employed through the motion picture industry. So that's the grips, the people who run the lines, backstage, everybody in the backside, as well as the actors and actresses. Pretty cool. The only reasons some would leave was when they retired or had to leave for medical reasons. I interviewed for the position and I felt that it went pretty well. I was told it would take a couple of weeks before I would know if I got the job, so I kept working and focusing on everything except the man thing. I may not have been focusing on it, but God was busy at work. On June 25th, 1995, God delivered me a potential husband. No, I did not open the front door to my apartment and see a 6'5" tall package marked "To Caro from God, till death do you part." God actually made the opportunity available for me to meet my future husband. Then it was up to me to make the correct choices that would put us in the same place at the same time. On that evening, my friend Shara asked me if I wanted to go to Little J's, a nightclub in Los Angeles. It was our usual hangout when we went to dance. It was downtown, which was not too far to drive. The club had a parking lot next door and security, so we always felt safe when we went there to dance. Shara wanted to go because the guy she was dating, sometimes, was always there. Craig and Shara had a teaser relationship. She would tease him on the dance floor and play keep away. He would tease her with his attention away from the club. She knew he was not the committed type, but he was entertaining. I told her I really did not feel like going. I just wanted to stay at home. I was trying to avoid the nightclub since the guys I met in LA were not the commitment type. I had been attending church more regularly, but the guys I met at church were just as flaky. I realized that it was not where I met the man that mattered, but I needed to trust that God would show me the true nature of the right man. It would be a man that was proud to be with me at church, at his home, and even take me to his house. Not his mama's house, not his aunt's house, but his own place. It would be a man with a steady, secure career. It would be a non-smoker, casual drinker, and not a drug user. Wow. Was there a man in the world that could fit the bill? I told Shara I would think about going, but I thought to myself, nope, I'm staying at home. 30 minutes after talking to Shara, my friend Carla called to see how I was doing. I hadn't spoken to her in a while, so we laughed and reminisced as we always did. I told her that Shara asked me to go to Little J's with her, but I preferred to stay at home. Carla said she would go too, but her car was acting up. I asked her if I went to pick her up, would she go dancing too? She said yes. So I called Shara and told her that I would go, but I was going to pick up Carla. Shara decided to drive by herself and meet us there. I threw on my summer dress and off-white knee-length dress with elastic bodice right here, you know, kind of, and spaghetti straps. I put on my gold shoes and gold accessories. I was all about gold then. Now it's all about silver and platinum. Even though I didn't really want to go, getting dressed up always made me feel good. I grabbed my little gold clutch and peeked into Sabbath's room. She was listening to music and talking on the phone. I told her I would be going out with Carla and Shara. She said goodnight. I drove the Lynx to Carla's house on Sepulveda in West LA to pick her up. She always looked LA fabulous. She was outgoing and an actress, so she always had her hair hooked up and jewelry jingling. She got into the Lynx. "Hi, Miss Carol. Let's go see some men," she said with a jovial voice. "Hi, girl. Let's go see who's hanging out at Lil J's," I replied. We talked all the way across town. We had not seen each other since my birthday party, so we relived that evening, laughing all the way to Little J's. We met Shara inside Little J's at 9 p.m., which is early for a night out. We walked around downstairs, looking at the people on the dance floor and others walking around the club, and then headed upstairs. We walked around upstairs by the bar and past the dance floor. For an hour or more, we walked around the club, upstairs and downstairs, several times. There was nobody in the club worth giving a second look. We looked for a place to sit down, and we found a booth upstairs by the dance floor. Carla said every guy in here is short or ugly or both. We all laughed. Shara said, "You know the handsome ones will show up after midnight, looking for a booty call." I told them both, if somebody cute doesn't show up by 11, we are out of here. They knew I meant it. Shara left us to see if she could find Craig. Carla and I people watched from the booth. Some guy asked me to dance. He was short and not so attractive. "Sure," I said. We were going to dance, not get married. It was about 10:30 p.m. and I was serious about leaving at 11. So I figured on dancing with whoever or whatever before I left. It was on the dance floor. I was on the dance floor, moving to the music and swirling around in my sundress. I turned towards the entrance to the upstairs area, and in walked this fine-looking man in a tailored, shimmery gray suit. He seemed to be moving in slow motion, like in the movies. I couldn't take my eyes off of him. He was looking at me dancing, and I watched him walk all the way around the dance floor. He passed by Carla and came to stand by the dance floor. I was totally ignoring the guy I was dancing with and was dancing for the guy in the gray suit. He was attractive. He was very tall, like a basketball player. His skin was the color of butterscotch. His hair was cut in a fade with a sharp trim at his hairline. He had a mustache and a little goatee. But what stood out the most were his dimples. He had what I call quarter dimples because they are so deep and big that a quarter can be placed in them and wouldn't fall out. He also had a chin dimple. Oh my, very cute. I continued dancing for him, and when the song ended, I walked off the dance floor, past him into my booth. "Oh, Carol, did you see that hunk of a man staring at you?" Carla asked. At the same time, I said, "Carla, girl, do you see that cutie by the dance floor?" We laughed. I asked, "You really think he was watching me? Because I thought he was too, but when I walked past him, he didn't stop me." Yes, girl. He was watching you from the time he came in the room. Give him time. He will come over here, Carla said, giggling the whole time. But I was already up out of my seat. I looked back at Carla and said, I can't wait. I rarely approach guys, but that time I was compelled to do it. I walked behind the cutie to the bar. I asked the bartender for a cup of water. Then I walked in front of the cutie and stopped. I looked up to him. He was quite tall and said, do you know you have the cutest dimples in the world? I did not wait for an answer. I went back to my seat. Carla was giggling when she asked, what did you say? I repeated it for Carla. Carol, you are crazy. But it worked because here he comes. I looked up to see that fine man standing there. Would you like to dance? He asked. I said yes. We walked to the dance floor. I looked back at Carla and smiled. We got on the dance floor and danced towards the middle. He was a good dancer. He asked me my name and I said Carol. And you are? I swirled and danced and talked simultaneously. He said, my name is Kendall, but my friends call me Kenny. I said, I like Kendall. We continued dancing until the song changed. Then we walked to the booth. Carla, this is Kenny. Kenny, this is Carla, I said. Carla smiled big and said, hi, Kenny. I slid into the booth across from Carla, and Kenny slid in next to me. We all laughed and talked. I told him we came together and met our friend Shara. She was in the club somewhere. He said he was there with a friend too. Smiley was wandering around the club also. Carla got up to dance, so Kenny and I talked more. He said he and Smiley had gone to a friend's wedding reception earlier in the day and were pretty drunk. Smiley talked Kenny into driving up to Los Angeles from Oceanside to visit Smiley's uncle. Once in Los Angeles, Smiley asked Kenny if he wanted to go out. Kenny said he had a headache from all the alcohol, so he lied down. He really did not feel like going out to a nightclub, but his friend talked him into it too. Wow. I got the chills when I said that. He really didn't want to go out. No, excuse me. I got the chills when he said that he really didn't want to go out. It was God, bringing us together on a night when both of us almost did not come. Carla came back to the booth and sat down, just as this guy came to the table. I assumed he was Smiley. Hey, Smiley, Kenny said, sit down. He pointed to Carla and introduced her, then pointed to me and introduced me. Smiley said hi and then he sat down. He was a character also. He was asking Carla some crazy questions. We had been sitting for about an hour talking. Kenny told me he was single and in the United States Marine Corps. He was stationed at Camp Pendleton, which was in Oceanside. I realized I knew very little about the military. He lived in an apartment in Oceanside off base with his friend Smiley. We were enjoying each other's company so much that I said, I wish you lived up this way. Oceanside isn't that far. You can come down there and we can be even closer, he said with a cute smirk on his face. I don't think so. I am hoping to get this new job at the Motion Picture Pension and Health Plan, and my little sister lives up here with me. When I move, I will be married. Kenny jokingly said, let's drive up to Vegas and make it official. I laughed at him. Yeah, right. I won't be marrying you tonight. Charlotte came back to the table smiling. I asked her if she found Craig. No, I don't think he showed up tonight, she said with her Texas twang while looking at the guys sitting in our booth. I said, Shara, this is Smiley and Kenny, pointing to each guy. Smiley, move over so Shara could sit down, I said to Smiley as though I had known him for years. Smiley told Carla to scoot over, and he made room on the seat for Shara. We all talked and laughed a while. I told them Kenny wants to drive up to Vegas so we can get married. Smiley and Shara laughed. Carla said she was ready to go with us. That's my Carla. She was serious. Kenny and I laughed. I asked Kenny to go downstairs and take a picture with me. I needed to memorialize it just in case that brother slipped away and never called me. We all walked downstairs to the area that Little J's has a photographer set up. Kenny and I took 2 pictures together, one with us facing each other, and one with him standing behind me with his hands in my hands and his body pressed against my back. Wow. We all agreed that Kenny and I made a very attractive couple. The clothing we were wearing complemented each other perfectly. We looked like we had been together a while, which was really weird. When I saw the pictures, it sent chills up my spine. I invited Kenny and Smiley to come to church with me on Sunday and stay for an early dinner. Kenny said he would talk to Smiley about it. The club was closing and it was time to leave. Kenny and Smiley walked us to our car. Carla got in on the passenger side of my car and Shara said goodbye, then got in her car. Kenny and I hugged, but as he started to walk away, I called him back. Kenny, wait! We walked towards each other and I reached up and kissed him. Wow, what a kiss. Fireworks. Seriously, fireworks. He smiled down at me and said goodbye. I got in my car and Carla was smiling at me. We talked and laughed all the way to Carla's house. On Sunday, Kenny called me and said that he couldn't make church, but he would come by for an early dinner I offered. Smiley was tired and declined to come along. I think Smiley didn't want to be a third wheel. Thanks, Smiley. I gave Kenny directions to my apartment in Valley Village and told him what time to come. I went to church with Sabbath, and when we got home, I started making my famous spaghetti dinner. Now, if you are from the South, or have family or friends from the South, or have watched television shows or movies with black people from the South, then you will know that some men believe that a spaghetti dinner on a first date is a superstitious no-no. I did not know that until our Sunday first date spaghetti dinner. Kenny drove into my complex in a cream-colored Nissan 300Z. I waved down at him so that he would know which apartment was mine. He waved back. I went inside to finish cooking. When he came inside, he took my breath away. He really was even more attractive in the daylight. Man, I am still high on that man. I just can't stop thinking about him, and the moment I met him, it's just amazing. That's why I'm just smiling from ear to ear. He really was even more attractive in the daylight. His eyes were a light brown, not hazel, but a compliment to his caramel colored skin. I said, "Hi, did you find it easy enough? Have a seat." My sister Sabbath came in and I introduced them. Sabbath said hello and went back in her bedroom. I smiled at him and said, "She doesn't talk too much." He said, "No problem." Yes, she gave me good directions as he sat down on my sectional couch. "I'm almost finished cooking. I hope you're hungry. I made spaghetti," I said. "Uh-oh, I have to tell Smiley," Kenny said while chuckling. "Why? What's wrong? You don't like spaghetti? Are you allergic to tomatoes or something?" I asked as I stopped stirring. I should have asked him what he likes and doesn't like, to what foods he might be allergic. I didn't think about that. Still laughing, Kenny said, No, nothing like that. Smiley was told by someone from the South that there is a voodoo spell to catch a man. A woman makes spaghetti sauce and mixes her menstrual blood. Should I say that again? She makes spaghetti sauce and mixes her menstrual blood in with the tomato sauce, then serves that spaghetti to the man she wants to fall in love with. After the man eats it, he is hers for life. Oh my God. That is so disgusting on so many levels. Okay, he didn't know at the time that I'm a major germaphobe, okay? And that is like so disgusting. So disgusting. Yuck! That is gross and absolutely ridiculous. First of all, I am not from the South. I was born in Merced, California, which is California country, but it is not Southern, and we do not do voodoo. Secondly, I would not put any bodily fluids in food or drink. Doing that would make someone sick, not devoted to you, but sick. And third, Kenny was cracking up. Stop, you can stop. I was just telling you what he told me. I didn't say that I believed it or that I was saying you were going to do that. He was still laughing, and I had started laughing also. Well, come on and eat. It's ready. We sat down at my little round glass dining room table. There was iced tea, spaghetti, toasted garlic bread, and a salad. Wow, it looks good, Kenny said. After we ate, we sat on the sectional and talked and kissed a little. He told me again that we would be married one day. I said, yeah, sure. I was tired of guys talking and not showing. My phone rang, and I said, hello? It was my mom. Hi, Mom. How are you? I asked. She checked in on me and in Sabbath every couple of days if we had not called her. Is that my mom? Kenny asked. I looked at him and laughed. Let me talk to her, he said, reaching for the phone. Who was that in the background? Willie? Asked my mom. No, Mom. Kenny wants to speak to you. I met him last night. Hold on, I said, and handed him the phone. Hi, Mom. How are you? Kenny asked. I sat there looking at him like he was crazy and started laughing. Yes, I have a job. I'm a sergeant in the Marines. Camp Pendleton. I've been in 10 years. Yes, I agree. She is a great girl. I told her I want to marry her, but she doesn't believe me. She thinks I'm just talking. Nice talking to you too. Okay, bye. Kenny was really talking to my mom like it was his mom. He handed me the phone. Mom wants to talk to you, he said with a smirk on his face. I took the phone. Hey, Mom. Honey, if that man tells you he is going to marry you, you need to believe it. He has been in the Marines for 10 years. It tells me he is a hard worker and determined. I will let you guys continue your visit. I love you. Talk to you soon, she said. Okay, love you too. Bye, I said and hung up the phone. What did she say? Kenny asked me. She said that it takes determination and hard work to be a Marine for 10 years. And if you say you're going to marry me, I better believe it. I sat back and crossed my arms over my chest and smiled. He smiled back at me with those quarter dimples and leaned over to kiss me. We kissed a while, then he said he had better get going. Kenny had to get back to Smiley's uncle's house, which was in Los Angeles. They were going to drive back down to Oceanside since they both had to work on Monday. We kissed goodbye and Kenny promised to call me when he got home. A man of his word. I answered my phone around 8:45 p.m. Sunday evening, and it was Kenny. He told me that he and Smiley made it to their apartment in Oceanside, and he was beat. He would call me when he got off work the next day. I told him good night and hung up. I have always been a giver of trust. Most people only trust others after it has been earned. I trust a person from the moment I meet them until they prove themselves untrustworthy. Stones of trust, hope, desire, faith, and thankfulness were laid on my path the weekend of June 25th, 1995. That is the end of chapter 7. Wasn't that fun and exciting? Still is for me. You can go on don't forget you can go on my webpage, carolevansdreammaker.com, to see the chapter album pages at the end which relate to the chapter. So this is chapter 7's album pages. That's one of the pictures that Kendall and I took. Excuse me, sneeze. Thank you. I know you say God bless you. That's Carla and Shara and I. And who else is in that picture? I'd have to see who's in that picture. Oh, that's my girl. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway. And then Terry at the dance. Oh my goodness. The dance contest winner. That was hilarious. You've got to see these in color. My birthday cake, Single and Sexy, and Shara at the party, and me at the party. You guys have got to go on my website. Check out the color version of these. So that was the end of chapter 7. And I'll see if I have enough time for 8. You're looking at, this is my cancer support today, my cancer survivor support with my pink, all pink. Every now and then I just go pink. and I braided my hair up. You're seeing pre-weave today. So I braided up all nice and light, not all stretched out and pulling my hair by the follicles. But since I do it myself, then I can gently weave it up and it'll be soft and not so tight that I want to cut it out. But that's what you're seeing today. So I think if you'll if I can read chapter 8, you'll also see this again for chapter 8. So I hope you enjoyed it. See you soon. Bye-bye.